Peace, y'all. We made it. The moment when we transcend, that moment is pivotal on this journey, of awakening or understanding, right? But what's just as important is, that moment, or going beyond anything that you've been taught, or whatever was instilled in your personal development or your personal growth, is staying in. What I mean by that is, it's a certain vibration, right? It's a certain vibration when you gather some information, and the information might be, it doesn't matter what it's pertaining to, it's a certain focus, or it's a certain emotion that goes into it, right? Excitement, if you will. That's more important actually than the moment in which you made a decision on it. They both are important, but you have to stay in that vibration. What is important about it is, like, it may require a reminder, right, of what you're doing, how you bringing it, where you coming from. To me personally, like, when if I think about the past, right? If I think about the past, it helps me to really understand. Say, man, that was a road that was traveled. You know what I mean? And that certain reminder can set me up to say, okay, yeah, you doing just fine. We are our own biggest critics a lot of the time. You know what I mean? Because without that reminder, right, life will pull you in different directions. Acquaintances and people, not necessarily like nostalgia, but seeing somebody or being in a certain place, it's nostalgic, right? It gives you that feeling, bring that feeling back. You have to remind yourself, not of the moment you transcended, but of basically the mission and the course and where you're coming from. That's what I use as a reminder. It doesn't even matter what you could use. You could use anything. Use anything as a reminder, but you have to stay in that frequency, or in that gear that you still feel excited, or you can get that spark, or that I want to call it a reminder. Like, you got to stay in that frequency, because if you bounce in and out of that frequency, which is going to happen, right? But you want to snap out of it quick, because if you don't snap out of it quick, what happens is, if you stay too long out of it, you could forget, because life is steady happening as you know it. Now, disclaimer, I'm speaking personal about it, like, on my way, because it's levels to whatever it's levels, right? This ain't every man, common man stuff, but it's for the every man, common man, if that makes sense, right? Ground level. We can see eye to eye. I just might not be looking at what you looking at. You know what I mean? So this is all about understanding and awareness of what we are, where are we going, and how we going there, It's like when somebody changes, it comes with a change. Like, you change your life, you turned up, right? You change your life, you turned up. I'm not talking about looking outward at what someone else has turned up at. Somebody can appear to be turned. Somebody can appear to be turned, and they really not inside. So it's a personal, it's speaking to you, right? Whatever it is. If your mission was, you overcoming, you overcoming that laziness, just no motivation to do nothing, and then that moment in which whatever happened, right? Say, let me get off the couch. Let me get I'm gonna go after this particular thing right here. And you go out and get that, right? Now, it's that was pivotal. You know what I mean? And the way you doing anything is the way you do everything. It's it's a ladder. You climbing that ladder now. It's your own climb. It's your own ladder because you climbing where you trying to get to, right? Now, it's more importantly than that moment of, we're going to call it the moment of transcending, right? You went above and beyond what your norm was. You changed, you created a different reality as you know it, right? For yourself, right? You went inside and you did that. To stay in that gear or in that frequency, let's call it in that vibration, right? To stay there requires a work within or another mechanics as well. Okay? Because things happen that pull you, right? Things might happen that pull you. And when things pull you in different ways, you have to, like I said, it's like a reminder, you know what I'm saying? Like I look backward, you know what I mean? I don't really look back, but the memory serves as, you all right. Like, you know what I mean? Like that thing was looking crazy back then, man. Like, you good. Like this little bump in the road, man, listen, it's not even a bump in the road for real. It's just there. What you gonna do? Like, it don't even have to be no problems, man. Like, on that level. And you gotta remind yourself of that. You gotta remind yourself, that's not, that's not who I am. That might be a problem for something else, someone else. It's not a problem. That just, matter of fact, we don't even see nothing. Like, that ain't even a matter, at all. So it becomes, it becomes just important, equally important, if not more important. I'm gonna say it's more important to remind yourself or stay in that vibe, stay in that frequency, than it was to even change gear to get outside, for lack of better words, right? Because once, like I said, you gotta expand. You're gonna have to grow. You can't sit still. Once you say, you might. It doesn't matter. It doesn't make it less valid or nothing like that, or less valuable. But you went ahead and you got that. You achieved that. Now you on to the next task in the space you in, right? You got another task you got to get to. So you got to go in. You're gonna have to go and get that. But you have to find that. You got to find that gear that reminds you, what vibration you in. Because, man, life will happen. Looking at too much, and it's starting to pull you. You understand? Like, it'll pull you if you let it. So, and never you're gonna get pulled. But the reminder is more important. Remember that. It don't matter. You know what I mean? It's not like you turn around looking back. But that reminder serves as, yep. I remember I ain't on that no more. You know what I mean? I'm not that no more. That ain't even me. You understand? But yeah, man. You know what I mean? Just keep on, just daily. You can do it, it's you can do a daily affirmation. Daily affirmations is healthy. You know what I mean? If you do that, before your feet hit the ground, that's good. You can do daily affirmations, and that works for some people. I personally don't do it. It's nothing that I might start, but you can do that daily, and then that. My thing with me, it usually be like, it'll be, the way, like I said, it depends on where you at, what space you in. Like, with me, it might come a different way. You know what I mean? And I just had to reset. It's a lot of moving parts. It's a lot of moving parts, you know what I mean, when you're dealing with people. Some people might have a situation they don't have to deal with as many people or is not responsible for as much. But nonetheless, we all need that reminder. Because without it, guess what? It's easy to slip out of mode. You know, start slipping like a transmission. Now you ain't got no motion